Casey Exposed on Expozed TV, and today we got a special guest. He happens to be very well known, someone that has made history in Boston through his paintings. I mean, I'm not going to even further introduce anymore. We got Percy Wright. Percy, how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Doing well?
Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Thank you. So, Percy, let's get right to it. When did you start?
I started painting, obviously when I was a child. My grandmother was an artist.
Oh, wow.
And my best friend who introduced me to graffiti art was like an old school legend. So with both those things kind of in my background and having, great parents that motivated me to start kind of pushing in that trajectory, that kind of how it started off. That was like the launch.
A lot of my work kind of deals with that subject matter, especially that wall and kind of this wall in a more abstract sense, Those of you who don't know, those are the children from beyond over there that are kind of like a psychedelic, like funky alter ego of, they kind of derive from my graffiti days. They kind of come from that kind of combative b-boy methodology where it's like burned, like, that very kind of confrontational.
How do you identify yourself as an artist? Like, you're an artist, a graffiti artist? Like, where does that come in between? Because I know a lot of people have different perspective on even calling someone a graffiti artist.
Yeah. It's been kind of tough because, a lot of times people want to pigeonhole you in some way as, oh, he's a great portrait artist, or someone's a great graffiti artist, especially in the commercial world, where graffiti's kind of been this like, I do graffiti hip thing, or certain clients want to be kind of more hip, so they might want something that's more graffiti-like.
Graffiti-like.
Many times it's funny because people will be like, can you do it like a Basquiat, or more like a Banksy,
Banksy, oh yeah.
But it's become so popular that people want to kind of overstate that you're a graffiti artist.
Yeah.
Or a muralist in some way. But
I've been hearing a lot of like street art.
Yeah, and street art's kind of a commonly named term.
Is that name fine to be called?
Not for me per se. I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm more into like. To me, graffiti is more always about lettering.
Lettering.
Street art's like when people stick fancy stickers up.
Yeah.
Or stuff that's kind of been done already in the safety of their home maybe, and then just kind of put up real quickly.
Yeah.
Which I do respect a lot of aspects of street art, but I kind of consider myself a traditional kind of graffiti artist in terms of lettering. But also, I see myself like as a hardcore, like nuts and bolts traditional oil painter. So I kind of mix the two, so it's not really...
When did you start mixing the two, or did it start with graffiti first?
They both were kind of happening at the same time. A little bit, but not so much like blended. That kind of happened more in grad school, to where I started like really like thinking about both those different qualities of art making, and then ultimately, how I could find ways to mix these forces in interesting ways,
Nice. Do you remember the first wall you painted? Well, sorry, spray painted.
Yeah.
And where were you?
Yeah, I probably can't tell you too many specifics on that. Like where was I?
That's where the exclusive comes in.
Yeah. They might try to like find me or something, but
How old were you?
Yeah, oh geez, I was probably like 14 maybe.
Wow.
Probably me and my homeboy, my friend Wes. We used to paint in a couple of abandoned factories and stuff back in the day, undisclosed locations. But that's kind of where we really started learning how to, spray paint and really delve into the idea of lettering, characters and stuff. But more in the language of spray paint.
Were you observing from other artists how to execute that? I mean, or did you just kind of self-taught yourself? I mean, I know you stated that your not your grandma,
My
but
cousin,
your cousin.
yeah.
Was an artist, so
Yeah, he was an ill graffiti artist, like an '83, like legend, like in terms of he was like really good at doing tags and bubble letters, and he was like a world renowned DJ. He spun at my recent art show and shit, and he was he's the one who kind of taught me how to write graffiti. And that was kind of my early influences. Was him, Khan, this writer named Sick. Old people like SP1, Rise, Wombat, Click, Soch, in terms of graffiti. But then, also I was digging, contemporaries like Jenny Saville, Cecily Brown, Jeremy Mann.
Oh, wow.
Who else? I like older painters like Franz Klein, down to getting further back, Ellsworth Kelly, then getting to more like older, like, Andrew Zorn, Renoir, Sargent, artists like that. So it's, I like a lot of stuff from minimalism to abstraction to hardcore realism and that. So I have a lot of influences that kind of were happening at the same time growing up. As a oil painter or traditional, working within the parameters of contemporary art, separate from graffiti. But later on, I kind of don't really see them as different from each other. People might see them as different from each other, but as a painter, I really look at those things in an abstract way, where they're just kind of different cultural languages that people speak, and some people kind of might just stick to one, or some people might coalesce like 6 of them into one kind of package. Yeah.
So did you so you said you traveled also.
Yeah.
Where did you travel?
Yeah, I'm definitely a
I know these are disclosed places, but have you traveled around to do shows and?
Love traveling, man. So I like going different places in a way where, I've been, I've done, graffiti events in Canada, New York, Switzerland, San Francisco, like all over different cities and stuff. I'm just starting to kind of do the same thing in the art market per se, but I'd always like to travel doing my work,
And is that usually where your ideas spark up of what's going to be your next painting, what's the next drawing, what's the next move?
Yes. Well, sometimes it kind of just happens.
It just
happens. It's almost like when you remember your dream, like a couple of days later, or like an hour later, or not really after you dream.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that. I don't really know. I might just be driving somewhere, and all of a sudden I think of something, and I'm like, oh, that's kind of a good idea. I might work in a painting, or I might see like some other artist stuff, and you get like inspired or fired up, or whatnot, and do that. Like other times, like when I used to do a lot of graffiti, I would like climb in like grimy tunnels and stuff like that, and
dangerous
rooftops and different spots like that. But also like I do a lot of fishing, so like I'll go in different like hidden spots where I'm climbing on rocks and down beaches at night, in the middle of the night when no one's around.
You don't get scared?
So no, that's the kind of the fearlessness that comes from like being nature boy / graffiti artist, that like it's kind of a roughness, to where that's kind of what a lot of my like stuff that can be seen in my work, where it kind of has a very aggressive mark, kind of like a karate chop slice, like kung fu like movement, very kind of inspired by like Wu-Tang or something.
When did you start doing that a lot? Just ever since you started?
I've always kind of incorporated a lot of my activities and movements into my work. Like, I'm truly inspired by, hip hop and the sounds of beats and, like cutting and scratching and stuff like
yeah,
that.
Yeah.
So a lot of times in my work, you'll see aspects of me, you know, painting something, then like kind of scratching over it or wiping over it and adding it again. So it has that like back and forth deconstruction, like almost like reversing a beat, then adding like taking a word, like reversing it and flipping it back a little bit.
That's pretty dope. That's like a movement. You know what I mean? Like your own little movement.
And then I've done years of like karate as well, which, you know, when you separate the spray can and insert a brush, a lot of those big gestures and stuff that are happening are kind of very similar in that way, you know?
Yeah, I see a lot of it, especially in your paints, especially that one right there. You can see what you're talking about, going in and then going out. Very, very detailed. You know, how long did it take you to do that piece?
My whole life.
Your whole life?
Yeah.
Wow.
in a way.
In a way. And can you elaborate on that? Would you say all of them, all of your pieces took your whole life?
Yeah, just because it's taken me that long, whether I could paint the painting in 15 minutes or 15 weeks or hours, you know. I don't know why I just picked 15, just some random number. Yeah, like, you know, yeah, like it's taken me a certain amount of time to be able to like master it. To be able to like make something come off in that short amount of time span, to where it's almost like, you know, when I've done some of my pieces, like the Children from Beyond faces, they're done primarily from my imagination.
Case show, right?
Yeah, so I had, you know, some pieces in my last solo show titled Identity Crisis, and the Children from Beyond are these like kind of extraterrestrial, like alter ego, alien-like, other type people face joints, where they're kind of a way for me to they kind of express like a certain ego in a way, and also that gaze, like that stare.
They kind of your ego.
Yeah, they're kind of.
Are these you?
They're a little bit. Some of the Children from Beyond are kind of like me, like different aspects of myself in a way. They come from my imagination, so they must be from me in a way, you know. Where, you know, I'm not really sure where they come from. I think they're me, but some people say they look like me.
Yeah.
Which is scary shit. You know, someone
no, but you can see it, and you know what? You can also see your fishes, and I think it's the main photo that you put on your on your postcard for the Identity Crisis show, where I think it's up in the top in a picture that I also seen of you, that it kind of looked like the fish's skin.
Yeah,
do you do that? Like take, you know, just the littlest thing and might incorporate or might think about it afterwards?
You know, I am like, you know, very much inspired by nature and its multiplicity of patterns that it has. And, you know, a couple drawings of mine or paintings of mine, I've used some of those motifs, those different, you know, ornamental pattern like structure, and we'll kind of lace it over the face or whatever. I know one of my character's eyes, I was kind of overlaying these circles that was reminiscent of a trout, like the different spots that it has. One of my good colleagues from grad school just recently said that there's certain like motion in my line work. Kind of looks like bent fishing rods. Kind of the energy of like this like whipping around and all that. I have kind of like four different paths. Okay, I'll call them paths for now, for lack of better words. So it's basically 4 different directions that I go in, right? Where one will kind of be this idea where I'm spiraling all these different objects into this like pinhole space, and then kind of surrounding it has this vastness or minimalism, which you can see in this piece here, and a couple other pieces, to where they kind of have this focal point, almost like a black hole or some type of gravity towards it, or attraction.
Like a focal point.
This yin and yang magnetic kind of function. Well, others would be more. So I kind of have that, which is kind of a mixed compositional thing, where it's a bunch of different things kind of going on, abstraction, realism. Then I have, I focus a lot on cityscapes. Just kind of like the depth that they create.
Yeah, the depth.
Not so much the space, but the place. Not so much the place, but the space. I said that all backwards. But also, another different direction I go in is, I like to do, I love portraiture. In object painting, I kind of loop that into the same thing, portraits or objects, things that are more just single expressions of themselves. And I also have these kind of entangled lines pieces that I do. Like, I call them untitled, that are more of these like squiggly, whippy line things that are just primarily abstract. Then I get the children from beyond. So I kind of get these 4 different directions that I go in, and I get bored out of one subject for a little bit. I might do 3 or 4 paintings, then I might kind of chill and put them aside and work on some of the other subjects and like 4 more. And then, that way I'm still keeping at those different things and getting better each time I come back to it. But it also allows me to have, different bodies of work that I can put in different contexts if I want to.
Has there ever been a time where you kind of stopped drawing? You kind of stopped doing graffiti? You always kept doing it?
Yeah.
Because, sometimes you go through things in life and you're just kind of like either taking a pause or, you're not emotionally into it. I mean, kind of where is your life?
Yeah, I've taken pauses, but not for like a real long time. It might just be like,
so you eat
like
and sleep.
Like 3 weeks, like a 3-week pause maybe.
3-week pause.
Where I might just be, beat up about it. Or, I know recently when I was in Basel, Switzerland, I saw so much artwork there that when I got back, I was just kind of like done for a little bit and just kind of shut off from art. I just needed to fish for a little bit or just to, do something else besides just thinking about my art, to where just sometimes you can get, with the advent of technology and Instagram and all that stuff, you can kind of get oversaturated with images and different stuff to see. So sometimes it's good just to kind of chill out and shut your brain off a little bit and just kind of chill.
So, have you ever gotten in trouble? And if you are, did you run?
Yeah.
Because something yesterday I was talking to my friend, and he said, I can't wait till it snows. And I'm like, why? And he's like, because I want to go out bombing. Yeah. And I did not know what that meant until he told me. It just, I got nervous. I was like, hold on, you're going to go bombing? What's going on? And he was like, no, it's like when it snows, it's the best time to just go out and just do what you love to do and, tag. And like, I honestly feel like there's nothing wrong with that because it's just self-expression. So, like, is that like the thrill, the exciting part of doing all
the term bombing comes from the idea of just going out writing graffiti. Oh. You know what I mean? It's like a way of just getting your name up everywhere. People call it that. They also call it getting up.
Getting up.
Yeah. I prefer in these times not to use that term.
Not to.
But I like the term getting up.
Getting up.
Because it's like it's making your mark, it's putting your name up. You know what I mean? And the snow is probably a good time because snowbanks go up in high places, and then you can jump on them and get higher usually than you were to put your name somewhere. But what was the question?
The question was like, if you ever got in trouble, like, what's the craziest story? Like, you can even be like, turn off to something positive.
I've definitely, I've gotten in trouble in many ways. Like almost robbed. I've almost, I've had cops chase us and hide them in the car, and see a bunch of my friends get arrested, and and you know, roughed up and all that jazz, and I'm like hiding in the car and you know, watching rats around me and stuff like that. When I'm like seeing these flop around me, and then like you know, sneaking out and going away, and you know, getting chased on bridges and stuff like that. I remember one time just kind of running with my friend, and we were running across this like trestle, and we could see like the train tracks, then the water underneath it. So it was like we had to run and make sure you know you timed your steps so you didn't fall and go in the water. You know what I mean? So yeah, those are all types of you know fun adventures. Did you fall? Yeah, no. But yeah, I had all types of fun adventures of like you know going you know painting with you know my best friend Jamie you know in Montreal. You know, we painted together in the Bronx. It was fun because it was kind of a community.
Nice. So you have like a crew, like
yeah, I have like a squadron of people who are, you know, nasty at what they do. Like some are, you know, a couple of them are realistic oil painters and done graffiti. Some are more like expressionistic and some more design oriented. But yeah, I have like kind of a little crew that used to, you know, paint together and make art. So.
Nice. And that crew started in Boston?
Yeah, well, it started all over the place. I had some people from the North Shore, some from the South Shore, some from Boston, some from Providence, some from New York. It was kind of just, you know, a bunch of, you know, mixed nuts cats who were just, you know, kind of had a similar philosophy or are bound by some type of, you know, path of meeting each other at some point in our lives. And, you know, either we still roll together or we don't.
And I see over here you got some clothing going on. When did that start happening? Did that start, did you start doing clothing at the same time that you started drawing? Or did that come a little bit after?
Well, yeah, always like when I was younger and stuff like that, it was always cool to paint on jean jackets and, you know, do the graffiti on people's pants and stuff like that. And you know, I was doing it, you know, back in the day, and a lot of my buddies were, you know, it went back even further than that in like the '80s. People were, you know, making really dope jackets and stuff. And then one of my friends from high school who contacted me, he's really into fashion and stuff like that. And he was like, "Yo, will you paint my jackets?" You know, so we started working together. He liked it. He was kind of like the Flavor Flav, like you know, the hype man in terms of style. He was into it. So we started working together and start trying to find a way to you know push clothing together. And he's been kind of stylizing it and trying to find a certain market for that. And I've been kind of working on you know doing different characters on these jackets just to kind of. See what happens, you know.
I mean, it's definitely dope. Definitely. And I noticed that you have Children from Beyond on some of them, right?
Yeah, those are all the character series that I've been doing on the clothing line. You know, I have some that are kind of, you know, playing with kind of mimicking the camouflage on the jacket. Where the faces are kind of mixed in there, where they kind of look like camouflage from a distance. More like a black and white camo, but when you kind of glare back at it from a distance, it kind of has that camouflage look.
Do you have any siblings?
I have an older sister.
And does she draw too?
She went to RISD in Berkeley. She draws. She does city planning. Did architecture. Yep.
So I keep looking at this portrait behind me because it's just really, really beautiful eyes, and I just noticed it really, really till now. Who's this portrait of?
Yeah, that's my mom.
Wow, so beautiful. And she's also over there too. Very, very nice. When did you start drawing her? Always?
Yeah, I always drew portraits of my family members and stuff. But then, you know. About 2 years ago, my mom died from cancer. You know, I thought she had a hernia, then found out that she had freaking stage 3 or 4 cancer, and you know, she was my best friend. And you know, that's kind of where I got a lot of my funk from. Like, she was really into soul music and disco and certain house and you know, a lot of like the hip hop I listened to.
Nice.
She would really into it because she knew where some of the samples originated from and stuff like that. So we had this like really tight bond, and she was kind of like my, you know, me and my sister were, even though we were extremely close, we didn't always be around each other that much, you know? So my mom kind of was like my sister, my best friend, and my mom. You know, I could tell her anything. So yeah, I started doing these portraits in honor of her, or way kind of to remember her, you know, just because, you know, when someone dies, like, shit, all you're left with like is their possessions and memories.
The possessions, yeah,
and shit,
exactly.
if I get Alzheimer's or something, I might forget, you know what I mean?
And then you have these portraits.
So the paintings live on, and, you know, hopefully I can, you know, try to make her, you know, do her justice through painting her, you know?
Yeah. Has that ever just, you know, just thinking about it sometimes, the memories, does that ever stop you from continuing what you love to do?
Sometimes, like, it might marinate for a little bit, like, you know, when someone's like angry or upset or you know, sad and stuff like that. But she always wanted me to, you know, she was very proud of me. She was always at all my art shows and all that. So she, you know, I remember, you know, when we were in the emergency room, and I kind of realized the depth of what was happening.
Yeah.
I remember her telling the doctor, kind of in a very nonchalant way, because she's very nonchalant about everything. You know what I mean? She was just like, whatever, you know. She definitely had a free spirit.
Yeah.
And you know, the doctor was telling me she's gonna freaking die, and she didn't really explain that to me in that way. And she's like, "Oh, my son's gonna be a famous artist, and, you know, he's my rock, and, you know, all this stuff." And so she was overly proud of me, you know. And I learned a lot about her. She was very outgoing and outspoken.
And that's beautiful to have that support.
Yeah.
You know, just coming from, I know that not even only the art scene, but just any type of art discipline, there's always like this, you have to have, like, not be overly confident, but have that confidence, have the people there to support you and to guide you and some mentor you, you know? So that's wonderful that she's an inspiration and a push till this day.
Yes.
You know?
She definitely fuels the emotional and the kind of musical side of me. You know what I mean?
Yes.
In that way, like, when I hear certain songs or certain beats or certain, you know, a breeze, or like when the sun comes out a certain way. So in that way, yeah, it kind of it does kind of help to push that in a way, to motivate me to kind of dig deep and search for that connection that we have.
So what's next for Percy? What's next for Percy? Now that you finish your showcase, and you're doing a lot of shows around, what's next? Are you gonna probably create another showcase soon?
Yeah, I might not be doing like too many shows in Boston.
Boston, kind of.
I might try to do like a couple private events in homes, you know, auctions or whatever maybe.
Yeah.
Or I know I'm gonna go to Colombia, you know, if all things work out soon, and then, you know, probably go up to Europe sometime this year. Or maybe I got some cool people I want to, you know, reconnect with out in LA.
Nice.
So who knows? I'm trying to just, you know, try to get away from Boston just a little bit. You know, and try to get more, so I can have more time to kind of enjoy it.
Yeah,
in a way,
of
to
course.
Where, you know, when you're always doing something locally, it's great.
Locally and being there, and then kind of, you know,
but then
the people.
People can kind of take you for granted for always being there, or, you know, so it's, at this point, I'm probably going to do like a lot of fishing. And just, you know, hanging out with my boy, and then just, you know, trying to, you know, come up with ideas for the future. Yeah, just trying to enjoy life, you know, which can be short, you know. So.
Do you definitely look at life differently?
Yeah, I definitely do. You know.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
It's a good thing. You know, I feel like in this short amount of time, you know, I had a son, and then, you know, I lost my mom. Like, so it was like a figure eight that kind of happened, which was, you know, beautiful and tragic in a way, you know, to where, so yeah, that was kind of a tough thing, because, you know.
Your son must now see all the pictures and always remind that that's grandma.
Yeah, he does. So I'm, you know, I'm constantly, you know, beating him with it, you know what I mean? And, you know, making sure he doesn't ever forget Nana, you know what I mean? And you know, to make her proud and all that jazz.
Nice. Is your son very proud of your work?
Yeah, he's like,
does he try to paint something?
Yeah, he's ill. Yeah, he's very talented. He,
nice.
I let him draw on a bunch of my paintings. I'm not sure where they are, because I have so many paintings from my, you know, my show coming here now that I'm like overstacked.
I know, you have so much. And do you sell your paintings as well, or?
Yeah, that's what I mostly make most of my money off of. Is just selling artwork at shows, doing, you know, commissions, portraits, mural projects, do a lot of workshops.
Does it hurt to let go one of your paintings?
Yeah, it definitely is. Unless I don't like it.
Unless you don't. How do you not like your paintings?
So sometimes I don't like some things I do, you know. And
really?
Those are the ones.
Is it like afterwards you look at it and you're like, nah, I don't like this?
Sometimes it can be like right from jump, and I might force it to try to work for some reason.
Yeah.
Because I have something in my head at the time, you know. Or sometimes I might mess something up that I had so beautiful at one point. And then lost it, and then it's like, and I might, you know, so some of those things I'm more interested in like parting with. Some of the stuff that I'm like, I'm just sick of seeing that, you know. But some of the paintings that I really enjoy, or done at pivotal points, or groundbreaking pieces, or things that I just like in terms of subject matter or whatnot. Some of those are tough. It's like giving away a child or a part of you or something. You're like, no, you know. Because I know when I get the money, I'm spending it on bills and this and that.
Yeah.
You know, the person who receives the work has a piece that, you know, will probably appreciate over time and value, opposed to a lot of other things in life.
It's deeper.
Yeah. So sometimes it's definitely tough to get rid of a painting, but then in the same sense, a lot of people who have bought my paintings have been huge supporter of the arts and have been great people, where I just would, you know, if anyone had them, I would rather them have it, you know, like Rakim has one of my paintings, and he's like one of the gods for me, so it's like, you know, I just gave it to him because I was like, I don't, you know, am I gonna have it, or I'm just gonna give it to him? You know, I just want him to have it, because, you know, it was kind of an older painting that I was doing, and I've had it for so long. It was only important to me at that time because it was such a, you know, first painting for me that I didn't really feel comfortable giving it or selling it to someone, because it was kind of older and, you know, had some rust on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A little dusty, you know. So I was like, you know, either I'm keeping this piece or, you know, I'm gonna give it to Rakim, you know. Yeah. And you know, my boy Dave Mecca, you know, brought me into this art show that he was throwing in City Hall, and he brought me backstage, and I ended up rapping with Rakim for a little bit, and you know, got a picture real quick. A little bit, yeah, bust rhymes. But yeah, I gave him my the painting, and yeah, he was a cool dude, and you know, I guess he has it. My DJ friend asked him, and he's like, "Yeah, I got that chilling in my crib," you know.
What?
So yeah, that was cool.
How do you feel when people are just like, Percy, your painting was completely dope. It inspired me. It moved me. It made me cry. It made me see things a little bit different. Like, how do you take those comments in? Because
I'm like, man, you're bullshit. You're lying.
Hey, shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Stop blowing my head up or something. You know? No, it's good. You know, you hear it so much in certain ways,
yeah, sure.
where it becomes like, you're grateful for that, when people can say that, and I am forever grateful that I can inspire people, and you know, through teaching especially, where it's the most real. It's just people kind of like, oh, that's great, you know. You hear it a lot, but I don't think you should dismiss it by any means, because a lot of times it is coming from the heart. But what's more important than just people praising you or whatever is that you can give something back. You know, that's why I like teaching a lot. It's not my full-time gig, but I love teaching because it's a way to like take some of that experience that might make your work where it inspires someone to kind of, you know, take that energy that you receive and give it to someone else, because ultimately, you know, you want people to be able to say that, you know, you inspire them in a good way to do art and take your own path and burn and do it that way, you know. Like,
that's amazing. I love how you teach. And how long have you been doing that for? I know you said part-time, but like...
Well, probably off and on since I've maybe got out of grad school. Probably 10 years ago, maybe.
10 years ago.
I don't know, I'm really bad at time.
Oh, I'm bad with time, numbers, you name it. But, so, when did you... Actually, what school did you go to?
Yeah.
You said grad school, so did you go undergrad?
I went to the same place. I got both my master's and my bachelor's at Leslie University, University of Boston.
Leslie. They have such a great program.
They're pretty cool.
And I live down the street, so that's why I like them. Oh man, well, Percy, I mean, you told us a lot of stuff about yourself, a lot of things that what you think about the art scene and what you provided. And I mean, we can see here, based off your paint, off your history, that this is not something for the money or something that you're just doing. This is something from your heart, passion. You know, you involve your friends and your family and really your soul into your work. And I see that. And like, I mean, I know I personally went to your show and I got a lot of good spiritual, good vibes, because that's, you know, kind of like how I roll. But I mean, I could feel it in here. I could feel it in your work. I'm very blessed to be in front of someone that has a lot of inspiration in the city too, because let me tell you, when I told a couple of people that I was gonna, you know, meet with you today, they were like, what, Percy Wright? Like, that's my dude, that's the G, that's the, yo, you gotta ask him this, you gotta ask him that. I should have started a damn Twitter on you when I came to visit you today, but I just wanna say that I'm honored. This is the artist that you gotta go see his shows wherever he's at. I know he's gonna be traveling, but hey, we got live now, so follow him somewhere live.
Live and direct.
But Percy's a guy of many hats and a lot of knowledge, and he's someone that you can see walking down the street or maybe on TV, but wherever you see him, show him love, because he definitely put on for the city, and he definitely shows the work, and he's gonna continue showing the work. And like I said, I'm glad for him to be on Expozed TV, so catch Percy Wright everywhere. We're gonna have all his information and his work. You've been here with Casey Expozed.